Hey guys, welcome back once again to the Golf Podcast. We've got so much to talk about. Scottie Scheffler. Oh my God, the amazing rise to number one so quickly.
He's the man right now.
Yeah, but Tiger did it quicker. We'll talk about that because I dug up some interesting stats on this because it is incredible how quickly Scheffler has gone to number one. But the other day, I got to start the show off with this because the other day, Mike asked me a question that got me thinking, and I said, I got to ask this on the show because I want to hear what you guys think. So drop it in the comments.
I'm scared
below.
what question this was.
Yeah, because you do fire away a lot of questions at me on a regular basis. But the other day, you asked me if you could pick just one current golfer. It's got to be current. We're not going to talk about all time. But one current golfer that you'd like to see rise back to their former career high, who would it be and why? And there's a lot of good ones in the mix. I mean, you think about guys like Hunter Mahan.
Yeah.
Remember how dominant he was?
We even went to the Barclays at Ridgewood when he won.
We were there.
Yep.
Right. And you think, of course, this week we're going to talk about the Valero where Spieth got back to winning.
Spieth's 2015 was epic.
Right.
I think he won like a gazillion
so
times.
even though he did win at the Valero, that it's not at that level again.
Right.
There's a lot of Fowler's been on everyone's tongue, but who is it? So first, you tell me who you think.
I think I think of Jason Day. He had that hot where he won the PGA Championship. He was winning everything and anything, and then he kind of fell off. Jimmy Walker had a couple of good wins, and then he won at Baltusrol, and I was like, oh, this, and I became like a Jimmy Walker fan. And then he got sick with Lyme's, and he kind of fell off. But if it comes back to, I think Spieth. For me, it's Spieth because I really enjoyed watching a young Spieth dominate that year where he won the Masters, then he almost did it again. Like he was hot for a while. I think he beat DJ for the U.S. Open. That's where I'm going with.
That's where didn't DJ three-putt?
He three-putt the last hole.
I remember that. Whistling Straits, right?
It was Whistling or Bandon. I don't think they did a Bandon. I think it was Whistling.
It was Whistling Straits. Yeah, I remember that. That was wild. But you said my guy. My guy would be Day.
Maybe it was Chambers Bay. But go ahead.
I've always been a huge Jason
Not Ben
Day
Crane?
fan. Ben Crane, Bubble Boy. Oh my God, remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
We met him at that Barclays. No, we met him at
Liberty National.
Yep. When he was the Bubble Boy. We got to dig that picture up.
We have that on our Instagram. I just saw it this morning. So
we're gonna find that. Yeah, we're gonna find that and reshare that. That was a gem. But yeah, for me, Jason Day. I mean, world number one. And we saw after that the struggle he had health wise. I remember I don't remember the event, but I remember it happening when he had to take a seat. He got very dizzy. Remember that? And then he had the back issues, and then more recently, just in the last couple of weeks, he lost his mother. But I think he's just got an incredible story. I think when he's healthy, he's got a great golf game that's fun to watch. And I think he's one of those guys I like rooting for him. I think he's a great dude.
Yeah.
And I think, he's one of those ones that I'd like to have on the podcast. I know you really want to have Justin Thomas. That's your ultimate goal is to get JT on the show, which by the way, if anybody's listening, got a line to JT, let him know. Mike wants him on the show. He's got some questions.
It would be a dream come true, and I think even like a snippet with JT would count, right? If we caught him on the street one day and recorded on my phone,
run up to him with a microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't even know he's on a podcast, and he's on the podcast. But yeah, for me, it's
Jason Day, huh?
But who do you guys?
Who else is there out there? I can't even think if there was any other golfers who were hot and then just not. Lee Westwood, maybe way back. Does anyone want to see Lee Westwood get hot again?
I remember when Snedeker was really hot.
Snedeker was booming. Kuchar was in every top 10 ever.
Yeah, I remember Snedeker winning the FedEx Cup that one year. Right? Didn't he win? He won the FedEx Cup.
Incredibly hot.
He was, and I think he was so entertaining at his height because the flat stick, the way he, when he would get hot putting, he was just unstoppable. Now you can make arguments with some of these guys that, age-wise, that was earlier on, that was years ago in their career. But I don't know. A lot of these guys, they'd still be young enough to do it. I just love to see them return it back on.
You know what I think a lot of it comes down to? I think the common variable with these guys kind of falling off, and Spieth's maybe an exception because he doesn't fall in the category, dad life.
You think it's it?
I think you get more into dad life. I had dropped my car off at my mechanic, which is down the hill from my house. I walked to go pick it up. I had shin splints for 4 days.
And you're blaming this on your kids?
Yeah.
Hey, that is not exactly a short walk, and you're walking all downhill. So I bet you're stomping on your heels the whole way down the hill. That's one-way ticket to shin splints.
But the kids do exhaust life. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm blaming it on the kids.
No, I think it's more so these guys staying healthy. And I think it's also, I think the nature of golf in so many ways is that these guys will get hot, they'll get into form, they'll get on a streak. And when they do, they're seemingly unstoppable, like we're seeing with Scottie Scheffler right now. Mm-hmm. We've seen it with lots of guys getting these hot streaks. And I think that's what literally makes it so amazing what Tiger did.
Yeah.
What was it, like 900 weeks at world number one? Because we see a lot of different guys. There's just so much talent dispersed throughout the PGA Tour.
Yeah, you're right.
That any of these guys can get on these really, really hot streaks, just be winning like on a tear for a while. And it just seems so hard to sustain.
Yeah. And you got someone who's just on fire.
Right.
Like anything they touch.
What if we had a Freddie Couples comeback tour? What if Freddie just came back?
If we open it up to all time.
Well, we said we wanted to see Freddie at the Players again.
We did say that. We did say that. And I always enjoy watching him at the Masters.
Right. And by the way, just back on my kids' theory. Sorry. I mean, you can look this up. Has John Rahm won since the birth of his child? Has Rory McIlroy won? Has Ricky Fowler won?
I'm pretty sure John Rahm has.
I don't know how good this theory is going to hold water. And there's a lot of guys who I've seen winning, and then they're holding their they're
holding like all 11 kids.
Yeah, they're like,
all right, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is just a very fancy way for Mike to make excuses for his dad life is slowing down.
I walk up the stairs. Farmers, look. Oh, the U.S. Open in 21. I don't think he was a dad yet, though. So I'm still look, Zach combing through the Wikipedia hard.
Here we go. Until we divulge into just scrolling through people's Wikipedia articles now. Let's talk a little bit about last week before we dig into this week, because I think this week is going to be the final, and it always seems to be like that real kind of form. Talking about form, tune up for the Masters.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the Valero is just a place that it tends to play very kind of similarly in a lot of different ways.
What'd you get there?
Stat? Yep, April 3rd. He, I believe, had a daughter. And then
this was his second child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, defunct.
I was going to say, didn't he even have 2 kids?
Yeah, so that's just a
but
he still hasn't won since. All right, let's keep going.
Totally, that theory.
He won the U.S. Open.
That theory lasted 30 seconds instead. All right, so let's get back. We'll talk about a little bit about last week, and then we'll dive into this week. The WGC Dell, and first of all, guys, if you're not already in our Clubhouse, go to golficity.com/clubhouse. We've got a private messaging forum on Telegram. It's a lot of fun, and then that way we kind of talk
tour,
the weekend.
equipment.
So, we've got a whole section in there for tour that we kind of we'll chat about it as these things are unfolding. But as we were watching this, one thing that I'll say, I enjoy this match play. I've said it before, 5-day event. I want to see more match play events. I think there are certain guys who just rise to the occasion in this format. An example of that is Kevin Kisner.
Mm-hmm.
He played incredibly. And I think that, the old saying, when the trains come and get off the tracks, I think that's what we had with Scheffler. He was just unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
You take Scottie Scheffler out of the mix, Kiz wins that thing.
Easily.
I mean, obviously it came down to the final. But I saw just recently his Kisner's record.
For those only 2 losses?
Yeah, I mean, here we go. Here's his graphic. Look at this record since 2019 in match play. And look at some of the names he's beat.
Finau, Ustays, and Molinari, Kuchar, JT.
He's
JT twice.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's
3
a match play specialist. And I think there's certain guys that it just stands out a little bit. You get to see a little bit more of them in a match play event. And the other thing I like about it is, the last couple holes aside, when there's only like maybe two groups left out on the course on Sunday. That aside, rarely when you're watching golf on Sunday do you get to see kind of somebody's entire round play out. You're skipping around. We're seeing what's going on all over. With match play, you kind of get to just zone in and just kind of like absorb yourself in someone's round because you're just watching. Let's say it's just the final match. It's the only thing that's on.
Yeah.
And maybe that and the consolation match is also going on. But still, you get to sit and really dive in. I like to see just watch a match play out. Man.
I do. I like that. I'm not a fan of the current layout of the WGC match play. I think it could be done so much better.
Okay.
And I thought about this, and as I was driving in here today, I was thinking, if you're going to do brackets the right way. Give me the top 64 players in the world.
You want a one and done? Is that what you're saying?
I want a one and done because at the end of the day, in order to win March Madness, you have to go 6-0.
Right.
I think in order to win this thing, go 6-0. Crank up first prize to $5 million. Hear me out here, right?
Okay, I'm ready.
You need more money, Tour? Go get more sponsors, right? You got 4 brackets now. So it's like March Madness. Instead of North bracket, South, West, whatever.
Yeah.
Go out and get the Hyundai McDonald's bracket. Go get more money somehow if you need it, if you even need it. But I'm talking crank up the purse and one winner stands at the end of the day and do it like this. Give me a 4-day tournament. Don't give me this 5-day tournament stuff. Give me a 4-day tournament. Go on a Torrey Pines where there's a north course, south course. You can get everyone off shotgun start. Give me a 2 rounds on Thursday, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and then 1 massive banger, 1v1 Sunday.
Okay. And how in this instance are you going to seed them? Is it going to be like the NCAA? Do you do it by rankings?
You do it by world rankings.
Okay.
But you're going to have to get creative because I think there's different region brackets.
Well, you just have one, official world golf ranking.
So just 1 versus 64, right? And then so on and so forth.
So you're saying the top 64, guys get invited.
Top 64 to get in with alternates if anyone's injured.
Okay.
And you basically get your one and done and get the thing done in 4 days. And if you lose on day 1 or in the morning, you're out. Get in your plane and go home.
I really like that idea because I think that would be a great way for the PGA Tour to get new golfers, get new names into the news cycle. Because what happens if the 64 takes down world number 1? Then that guy becomes
it's like the St. Peter story going on here in Jersey.
It's a Cinderella story.
Yeah, you got to have a good Cinderella story. You want Doug Gim beating John Rahm in round 1. And I want guys in the office doing brackets for this now. I think they do brackets.
Well, they do brackets, but
it's weird.
Yeah,
because this guy's 3-1. I was right. He lost, but he's here. I don't know.
They move on. It's a round robin. It's a round robin.
I don't like it.
I do get that. Obviously, the one and done, win or lose, is a much clearer thing to understand.
Right.
It takes a little less explaining.
It's a hard grind for the guys in the Elite 8 because they're there a long time. They're playing a lot of grueling rounds.
Well, even Scheffler, who won, the first thing he said, he was exhausted.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
On Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. Right? Up the purse. Make it worth the exhaustion.
Yeah.
There's a $5 million prize on the line for this thing. It's, you know what I mean? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know. Do you like the way it is?
Like I said, I like anything with the match play.
Yeah, match play. I'm
okay with mixing up the show. I said in the previous podcast that I'd like to see 4 match play events per season, per year.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see them just sprinkled throughout.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I'd love to see an alt shot. I'd love to see JT and one other guy go alt shot with it. Alt shot would be cool. Something different.
Yeah.
You might see that on the Super League tour.
Yeah. Who knows what we're going to see?
Who knows
what
we're going to see?
We're still waiting to hear more about it. But okay, so let's talk about Scheffler though, because here's just incredible. The guy's got 3. Like I said before, get off the tracks when the train is coming. 3 wins in 5 events. And we had this very interesting thing that we pulled up the other, somewhere in our notes when we were discussing it, where he just didn't he say he attended the match play event?
Yeah, Zach, put that graphic up. Love it. From a fan to a champ.
Yeah, 2016. Here's a picture of him as a fan in Austin watching the event to winning it in 2022.
Look at the different caliber of the clothing and the apparel. He just more polished as a pro versus the fan. It's great. It's so cool to see,
But it's just incredible. So I guess the big stat that everyone's talking about is that, he became number 1 so fast from his first PGA Tour win. So it took him 42 days to get to world number 1 from his first win. Now, one thing that you don't see in this statistic, and that's what I was talking about before, it was him and Rahm, and that's too funny. But one thing you don't see in that statistic is that Scheffler was on tour for a bit before he got his win.
Yeah.
He finally got that. I say finally, like all of a sudden, I'm a PGA Tour winner. It's so easy.
Yeah,
right? He gets his win in February and goes on. It's right. Come on, Scotty, finally get that win. We've been waiting. I heard it the second it came out of my mouth.
Yeah, no,
all right. So anyway, he gets his win in February, and then he just starts winning, right? Mm-hmm. The difference with Tiger, what you didn't see in that stat, was how quickly he did it from turning professional. So I dug into this a little bit. And saying how long it takes from the moment you turn pro until you reach the pinnacle, world number 1, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this. Tiger debuted September 1st, 1996 at the Greater Milwaukee Open. He ascended to number 1 in the world rankings on June 15th, 1997 at the age of 21.
9 months later. Jeez.
So, just shy of 9. It was 8 months and 2 weeks it took him from the moment he turned pro to be the number 1 golfer in the world.
What an incredible stat.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's just...
But I love this stat. The one thing about Scottie Scheffler, we don't know. First of all, born and raised Ridgewood, New Jersey.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I'm speaking of Wikipedia. But
local guy.
Not only is he a local guy, but Scottie attended the grade school where my wife currently works, and my wife's colleagues had him in his class.
That's cool.
Because he's only, what is he? He's 20, he's 25. So we're talking 19 years ago. I mean, my wife's been there for 14 years. So she just missed him. You know what I mean? How weird is that?
That is so weird. Scotty, come back home, play around with us here in Ridgewood Country Club.
Let's
go out there.
We could do Ridgewood Country Club. And by the way, no schlep. Masters 2021 T18, PGA Championship T4, US Open T7, US Open T8. These are all last year's results. He had 3 top 8s and a T18. So Scotty knows
no
majors.
Doubt he's got
and he's trending
the game, and it just like I said, something clicked. He got into form in February, won, and then just never looked back. But I think there is a certain point where exhaustion sets in. So we'll see. Obviously, we'll see him back at the Masters next week, and we'll see how much he can keep that pedal to the metal.
Dude, at 16-1, why wouldn't you put every bit of dollars you've got on that? He's not even in the top 8. They got Rahm going off at 950, Morikawa at 1100, Spieth at 1200, and you got Scheffler all the way down at 16. I don't know, guys. Where's Cam Smith?
Cam Smith 14. Is just below JT, which remains my pick to win the Masters. I still think it's going to be JT's year.
It's going to be Cam Smith's year.
Cam Smith is a great pick for the Masters as well. I don't know. It's very tough. I mean, what do you guys think? You think Scotty has got it to keep winning in this fashion? I mean, wow, that's going to be tough. It's gruelingly exhausting to keep winning.
It really is.
Especially, think about it, just going that deep into these events.
Everyone goes, oh, he's hot. He's trending. He's hot. Yeah, it's one thing when your game is clicking, but you got to take in the fatigue.
You got to take that in.
By the way, Freddie's going off at the bottom at 1,001. Should we throw a couple peanuts at Freddie?
Let's go.
Let's go, Freddie.
Let's go.
If Freddie won the Masters, it would be incredible.
Oh, my God.
But we're going to talk more about the Masters in a minute because we got a lot to cover with Tiger.
Got to watch Brooks at the Masters. Always got to watch Brooks at the majors.
You do. He's sneaky.
Of course.
Sneaky.
The year, I remember with Tiger, he came in second that year. But yeah, this is wild. The Tiger trackers are reaching stalker levels at this point.
Stalker.
Tracking his flights, which we'll talk about. But let's just quickly dig in a little bit on the Valero Texas Open this week. I think this is always an interesting decision, whether people decide to be in that field and play or not.
Yep.
A lot of them, a lot of the players, I find that they stay better in form if they're playing in competition. So they like to stay in competition. There's a certain rhythm to being in competition week over week versus practice rounds. So I think the decision often comes down to, do I go to Augusta early, get some extra practice rounds in, or do I play in Texas that week, stay in that competitive form? So we saw, you got Rory McIlroy, Matsuyama, Spieth, Bryson, Woodland. There's a lot of big names.
I'm shocked with Matsuyama. I figured returning champ to Augusta would be on site more, doing more, having to be there more, but I don't know.
I would imagine he could fulfill all his obligations.
Starting on Monday.
On Monday. But TPC San Antonio, I think it's going to be a lot of, really eyeballs on this event just to kind of see, and especially your DFS guys and your guys who are making, bets for the Masters want to see how things shape up this week in Texas.
You win boots and a trophy.
That's what I was going to say. You guys need some cowboy boots like that. That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the Texas swing.
We should do like a match where if the one guy loses, you got to do the next round in like cowboy boots.
The whole round,
The whole round.
That'd be pretty wild.
But this seems like a really cool event. It's a tough track. I mean, here's my scouting report coming from Xbox 2K1. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that hole.
Where you shot a 57 this morning? Yeah.
I got a funny one coming you soon about that.
All
right, stay tuned. I'm just going to share with you my score from playing Ballyowen from the forward tees. It's
okay.
It's comical.
Yeah.
So this course, Greg Norman design. My question here, the reason I want to bring this up, why? I mean, they didn't pull that off the schedule. They disinvite Phil.
Well,
okay, speculation. Sorry, I don't mean to. There's rumors that Phil was told not to come to Augusta.
Was encouraged not to come to Augusta.
Right?
Which is wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Past champ, multiple past champ. They remove Phil and Norman from the players' swing montage, but they left the track here.
Well, they're not going to move an event that.
Where would they
go?
go?
The course designer. He doesn't own it.
Yeah, so. And then I don't think it's gotten to that.
It seems like you got lawyers and letters, and I hate you and you hate me, Jay. It's like, I think we want to do a match. Put Jay Monahan and Greg Norman in there. I don't know. You'd sell out.
Yeah, people. It's what people like to say.
They like to
well,
see
look,
that stuff.
I mean, that's why kind of like lending into the next thing that we want to talk about, this Netflix series.
Yeah,
I think that this is going to be one of the biggest things.
And so you had this week, what was it, Poulter, and they had Fitzpatrick.
Which they got these guys, you notice some funky things on their hats there.
That's exactly why they have him mic'd up, Mike.
And they're mic'd up.
I have a feeling they got that. I think they're doing all this strategically, and they're going to do an amazing job of showing fans new like personalities that you would not like. True,
you think they're just trying to
not normally
because
like, latch onto.
Fitz seems like a guy with a very low key personality. He's quiet. He's like kind of like a Paul Casey.
Yeah, but Poulter's the other side of that.
Poulter's
story.
The complete opposite. So
and for anybody who's listening and not watching the show, what we're referencing is that a couple of these guys were spotted at the match play event with microphones clipped to their hats, and it's to record some of the behind the scenes, audio and dialogue for this Netflix series that's going to be coming out. But I think it couldn't come out at a better time. You hear us just talking about it here. With Greg Norman and stuff like that. There's so many side stories and everything else that are going on that honestly, I just feel like this is one more thing that could really help bring more people into golf.
I think so.
Because look, there's going to be people who just want that, all the different drama and storylines that are going on and just going to get themselves wrapped up in that. And then they'll start naturally just watching the golf unfold too.
I cannot wait for it. I love it. We talked about this a bunch of times. We talked about comparing it to Hard Knocks and all this other stuff. I know they did this with Formula One. I love the behind the scenes stuff. We don't get to see it. And this is stuff Bryson was talking about with Rick Shields on his podcast, saying this is the reason why he does his own YouTube channel so that his fans can see what you don't get to see out there.
Yeah. Well, he was saying even more control over his own messaging because as it stands, and I think this was a big part of the beef that Phil had, was that the PGA Tour pretty much owns everything that happens at these events content-wise.
Right.
Anything that goes out goes through the PGA Tour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. But what would be kind of cool? I was thinking more so on this. Imagine miking up the guys at the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you they will.
How great would that be? You got Kiz, like, all right, Sergio, you're up, buddy. Like just doing his thing, like back and forth. And the heated arguments.
Can we talk about why wasn't Kiz on the 2021 Ryder Cup team?
He got snubbed. I remember the whole controversy. Like everyone thought he should have been on it.
Well, going back to what we're saying is match play record, I think he's a guy who's got to be in the conversation as a captain's pick.
Definitely going to be on the President's Cup this year.
Yeah, I mean, the way he played, in Austin, I think he's definitely got to be in the conversation.
Plus, he's got a couple wins under his belt coming. I got a feeling he's knocking on the door.
Yeah.
So, but cool. But let me ask you this: like other guys on tour, you want to see him mic'd up? Who would be funny?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, I know Poulter's going to be bringing some fire. That guy always has hysterical stuff. I think guys like Tyrell Hatton. He's the angriest guy on tour.
Yeah.
If you
get some gold,
button, I mean, it's Netflix. They might just let it fly.
You get some gold. I think.
They'll definitely let it.
They're going to let it all fly.
Yeah.
I think a guy who you'd love to see mic'd up would be Justin Thomas because I think just seeing his personality out there at events, he's a funny guy, stuff like that. But I think he might be a little gun shy of it, and I think some of them would be like, look what happened to him. He said the wrong thing and lost his sponsor.
Some guys might be.
There's no doubt in my mind that when these guys are mic'd up, they're going to be aware of it,
yeah.
and they're going to be a little more filtered.
I have a feeling that this Netflix series could usher in a new era for golfers and just kind of being able to be themselves a little bit more. And I think these brands are going to see that these guys they're going to get more out of these guys for them being like themselves without putting on a fake corporate appearance. I don't know. That's just my take. I think that after this Netflix series comes out, we might see a little bit more, obviously no racist or homophobic slurs or anything.
Of course,
that's never going to be okay. But
I
think just being a little bit more just themselves, I think it'll
be cool. And they'll know they're mic'd up, so maybe they'll give us a little something.
Who doesn't enjoy a little personality? I think we all... The after round interviews that get a little bit dry sometimes.
Yeah.
Or you just kind of half watch them, but it's always like to see a little personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Case in point was, remember when JT and Roy were talking about his obsession with dominoes?
Yes.
And they got the whole thing on.
And there was something that was just clean fun, good, clean fun, like, and it was relatable. We could relate. I think everybody, here's a guy who's, Rory McIlroy has got more money than any of us can ever think of.
Right.
Could buy any food he wanted. And he's talking about how Domino's is pretty great in a pinch. You know what I mean? And we just like all of a sudden there, he becomes so relatable.
It's great.
I think, stuff like that.
The 2-for-1 carry-out deal.
Yeah.
There you go.
And speaking of relatability, you see this thing with Ben Martin.
My heart broke for the guy.
I know. You just feel for him.
It shows you how tough this game is, huh? And your whole life is
broke
on the
down.
line.
Talk about in an interview. These guys try to keep it straight, and he broke down. His caddy jumped in and kind of saved him a little bit there. But again, you can't hold it against a guy. Relatable. He hasn't won on tour in over 7 years. He had the 36 and 54 hole lead, but then just couldn't hold on to it down the stretch, and he got choked up in the media tent.
I think he missed a putt and everything.
It just shows you how difficult of a grind it can be in this game, and again, it just shows you when these guys are on top and they're in form, how rare that truly is.
It was tough. I mean, he was in a press conference. A reporter asked him a question. He immediately went into a pause, and you could tell he was starting to break up. It took him 45 good seconds to compose himself.
Yeah.
He just kept saying this, I need a second. And then his caddy, this is ultimate caddy job. He came up onto the stage, threw his arm on him, was like, hey, it was fun. Yeah. We had fun out there.
He said, I loved every minute of it.
Every minute of it. And I know that doesn't help, but it helped a little bit in the moment, and it was cool to see.
Yeah. And look, again, it's just so relatable. How many times have you had it where you put a lot of pressure on yourself to play a good round, and you're not even playing on the PGA Tour. You're playing Sunday with your buddies.
Yeah.
But maybe the pressure is that you hadn't played with any of the guys in a while, and you wanted to play well, and you play terrible. And the first thing you want to do is just get out of there, throw your bag in the car, and drive away.
Yeah.
But these guys, they've got to get up there with a microphone in their face and talk about it. Not only did you just experience it, that you just fell apart, at the end after holding the lead for that long, but now you've got to talk about it. You got to feel for this guy.
Yeah, you do.
It's a tough thing to do.
You got to. Because we don't, like you said, we don't really witness those tough heartbreaks because we're just weekend warriors.
Right. For us, it's how tough of a heartbreak it is when you lost 50 cents worth of skins last weekend. You know what I mean? It's not the same. Some of these guys are playing for their career. They're playing to hold on to their tour card and be able to continue to do what they love. That's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. When your whole you got a family, your life's on the line. Remember that. You got to win to survive.
Yes.
That's their life. Win or survive. Nothing's guaranteed.
Nothing. All right, let's take a quick break there. Let's do a quick word from our sponsor, and then we'll hop back in talking about some of the other big stuff in the news this week, including talking about Tiger. Will he or won't he be at the Masters this year?
He's at Augusta today.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good sign. All right, let's do a quick word from our sponsors. All right, guys, the evolution of the T-Series advances Titleist even further in their mission to produce the best irons in the world. New materials, new processes, and new refinements power precision that must be felt to be believed. Each model is an instrument of exacting performance passed from Titleist R&D and Tour Pros to you, the Titleist T-Series. We've got the chance to experience them. If you didn't get a chance to watch our fitting video from last summer, it was a true eye-opener. Just seeing when you see that technology match up with a player and how that you can get fit and really dialed in with the T100, T100S, T200, T300. There is something in there for every golfer, especially when you're with a good fitter who knows how to mix and match. It is as they say, a feeling that you have to experience firsthand to believe. They're precision made, precision played, and you can learn more at Titleist.com.
You were just a couple of statistic points away from walking out of there with the T100s.
Yes, it was close. It was close. And a little bit of, personal preference comes in there, and like a good fitter is worth their weight in gold of walking you through that.
Yeah, big time. And guys, just want to thank FootJoy. I've talked about these on the last episode. I love them so much. Going to talk about them again, the Premier Series. Now, I know they're coming out with some new great shoes, the Fuel, the Pro SL Carbons, which we've been rocking through the Innisbrook series. But let's not forget about those classy Premier. I love them. Cannot wait to break them out again.
JT looked good in them.
He really did.
Yeah, you saw that?
It's classy.
Yeah,
classy
I love them. I love
comfort.
the look.
It's
like a classic look, but like a modern take on it.
That's just it. The modern take on a classy look. Cam Smith, JT, Homa, Horschel, Adam Scott, Webb, Poulter, many, many more. The collection has so many of the design and material characteristics that one would expect with a classically styled shoe. from that premium waterproof leather and the natural leather that just kind of welts. I mean, it's great details. It exudes craftsmanship. I think they're like probably the classiest golf shoe out there. But again, that sporty feel. There's nothing about them that are uncomfortable.
Yeah, I wore mine the entire Vermont series. We played a lot of golf. Loved it.
I think he did Pinehurst #2 and Tobacco Road.
I did.
You know,
I did 36 holes. Yeah.
Why not?
They're sneaky comfortable.
Sneaky comfortable, amazing traction, great stability. They're lightweight with the modern twist. So you can learn more about the Premier Series by visiting footjoy.com.
Yeah, we also want to talk a little bit about Precision Pro. I'll let you dive into this, but we had an incredible experience with the R1, and we're working with the Ace Smart Speaker.
We are.
But
we're excited.
Innisbrook, I'm really excited with how they performed for us.
They really did. And Golficity is proud to partner with Precision Pro Golf this year. We're going to be doing a ton with those guys this year. And the two products of theirs that we have right now in bag that we're using, R1 Smart Rangefinder, did a whole video on that. And the Ace GPS speaker, did another video on that too.
Yes.
We had so much fun with both of them. We put them through the ringer through 90 holes down at Innisbrook over 3 days. And like I said, we do have a lot planned with those guys, including giveaways. We're going to be giving away a lot of products and maybe some custom Golficity products.
Yeah.
All right.
Hint. Keep an eye out for that.
So, some of my favorite features, real quick, about the R1, which I love, that Find My Precision Pro.
Yeah, because you lose everything.
I lose everything in life. I need Find My Car.
I think they made this for Mike. Yeah.
They made it for me. Wind assist, GPS distances, my slope, and it kind of acts as your personal caddy. I mean, what do you like about it?
100%. And then you get that my slope feature in the Ace speaker as well. I like the speaker. We had a little bit of fun with it when we were out there, being able to play some music. But I think if you guys didn't get a chance to check out our video, the most important takeaway here is that these are truly smart GPS devices in that you go into the app, you enter in all your personal launch data, how far you hit a ball, launch angles, things like that, stuff that you can get, as we mentioned, in a good fitting or working on a launch monitor. But once you have that in there, it becomes like your personalized caddy. And instead of just the slope being adjusted for, uphill or downhill, it is now taking into effect the way you hit the ball. It's taking in, as you said, weather.
Yeah, how cool is that?
It is a brilliant device, and it's pounding out a number that'll tell you, hey, it's 150, but given all these factors, it plays like 157. And I'll tell you what, we relied on it in Innisbrook, and I was genuinely impressed. We're going to be using it all season long, giving you guys some feedback on it. So stay tuned. You'll see more in our videos. And as Mike said, we've got some really exciting stuff coming with Precision Pro.
We do. And don't forget to use the code Golficity at checkout. They'll knock $20 off. And they are doing a mega sale starting tomorrow. If you're listening to this on the day the podcast is coming out, March 31st, April 1st starts their season opening sale. So go check out precisionpro.com.
Get it, man. Get in. Get ready for the season. Season's coming. All right, let's get back into it. I know, Mike, here, you had a...
I saw this hypothetical online. I wanted to just bring it to your attention because this is interesting. It actually made me think a little bit, and it's real easy. Would you rather play a round of golf with lunch afterwards?
I love how they throw lunch in. Sweeten the deal.
You know what? Because he's not going to talk to you on the course. So would you rather do that with Tiger at Medalist, his course that he plays, or play in the field at the U.S. Open? That's just like a random... We got Frank the amateur... who got in off a weird exemption.
So off a hypothetical exemption.
So what would you rather do? And if you need time to think about it.
I don't need time to think about it. I'm playing with Tiger.
Okay.
I have no business in the U.S. Open. I don't know, man. Would be you see the way these courses play at the U.S. Open? I would be a disaster. It would be
you wouldn't want to experience it, though?
Embarrassment. It would be a cool experience walking up to the first tee and thinking my name is in the field at the U.S. Open. But from that first tee shot until that last putt drops, it would be. I'm thinking about whoever they pair with me that day.
I feel bad for that person.
Sorry,
they put you by yourself, I think.
I just got to hold out my 8th shot here. I'll let you wait for me.
Yeah, at a U.S. Open, you'd probably be going driver, like 5 iron.
Some of these holes, they play so long. The
but let me sweeten the deal.
2 shots to get out of the rough at the U.S. Open.
Let me sweeten the deal. You could vlog the U.S. Open. You can't vlog with Tiger.
Nice. You can't.
I'm putting a spin on
no
it.
cameras? No, I'd still...
Tiger experience has to be probably the best.
Yeah.
That's what you could tell your kids.
And it's you talk about stories. I'd be able, to be able to tell people you played 9 holes with Tiger versus, hey, I played in the U.S. Open. I mean, that's great. But if you didn't earn the spot in the U.S. Open, I think the best part about being able to tell people you played in the U.S. Open is that you earned a spot in it.
Okay.
If I just got the old Golficity exemption,
I
don't think it's going
to
to hold water. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was all on the U.S. Open side, but you kind of
I talked you out of it.
You talked me out of it because now I'm thinking like, yes, it would be a disaster. I mean, obviously, you get the TV time, you could have that forever.
You want that TV time?
I want to be on.
They're like, well, cut back to Mike.
We're cutting to this guy. They're shuffling. I don't even know his name. Hold on.
The rest, he's now let the rest of the group go. But they're actually the first time someone's ever played through someone at the U.S. Open. Why can't I let the guys behind him play through?
Could you imagine my 4 compilation from those 2 rounds?
You're standing in the fairway going, come on, you can play through. Mine in the rough. I haven't found it yet. Yeah. Oh my God!
Right, I'm sticking with Tiger.
You're playing with Matsuyama and be like, should we let these guys behind hit up? Should we let them? Yeah, no. Stick with the Tiger thing.
Oh my God. That's great.
All right. Well, speaking of Tiger.
Speaking of.
So rumors have been spreading about Tiger gearing up for Augusta.
Still in the field.
What we had heard from a very valid source this week was that his last decision to be made, and you talked about this, I remember you brought this up on a previous episode, was stamina-wise, walking. Could he do it? Because we know we could swing. We saw him do it at the PNC. But can he play? And a big part of that is walking. So what he was doing, he was headed to Augusta to walk 18. He's still laughing about it.
Well,
walk
first,
18 and say.
First was the medalist with Joey.
Yes.
When Joey's in town, things are serious.
And I think the most important thing to underline there is seeing walking medalist. Because he had been taking a car.
And there was video.
There was video of him swinging.
There was video of him.
But what I'm saying, what I'm honing in on is walking because I think that he had played, in that event with his son. But remember, there were carts,
right?
And that kind of helped get it through. Now that was all the way back in November,
right?
What really came down to was would the leg hold up to walking? And so when you see him out there walking golf courses again, I think that's super promising.
Well, here's the good news. Medalist is no treat, man. He's walking medalist, and then 2 days later going up to Augusta to walk that. He must be feeling okay. If he walked medalist and he was hurting and he's back in bed taking some painkillers, he's going to be like, guys, scratch it. We're done.
Well, yeah, I don't even know if they let him near painkillers anymore.
Tylenol. Sorry. Whatever it is to make him feel a little better.
No, what I had said in a previous, episode was I said, if we saw what we saw to him in November, I think you take that 6 months additional of rehab, I think he's going to be there where I think we're going to see him play.
Yeah, I think he wants to play. But these guys like him, I've heard even Freddie Couples in a recent interview saying, when are you going to hang it up? But he said, if I'm playing well, I'm never going to give it up. But if I'm playing like crap, I'm not going to show up.
Yeah.
That's Tiger's mentality. So if Tiger knows he could do it, he'll be there.
I also am still a firm believer that Tiger and his team, where we all want to just see him with the epic, big, immediate comeback win. I think we think that way as fans. I don't think Tiger and his team think like that
Not at all.
We heard another thing through different sources saying that his sights are set on the 2023 Masters. No doubt. Tiger's sights in general are set on majors. Mm-hmm. Great to get a win on the PGA Tour again, all that stuff. But he's still hyper competitive. He still wants to add to his majors list, right? So I think he does. If he does play this year, miracle, unbelievable if he wins. But I think he'd be doing it. Get it back out there. Get that one, out. Get it, under the belt, so to speak, and then set the sights a year from now, fully recovered. Come at. I like it for a win in 2023.
I love it. And I think, and Zach and I were talking earlier this morning, and we were saying, if Tiger wins the Masters, if he plays and wins this year, is the GOAT debate over?
I'll tell you, for me, it depends on I think no matter what, it's going to be the depend on the person. Because to me, the debate has always been over. I think that Tiger's the greatest to ever play the game.
There you go.
I understand all of the people and the points that are made about Jack, but I think what happens is people get entrenched one or the other, and they just say it just keeps
it's generational too.
I think so too. I think the only thing that would take that away is the camp who always says that the one thing they keep coming back to is Jack has more majors. Total number of wins. I think if Tiger was able to do that and match or beat that record, it would take that one bit of ammo away. But there's people who loved Jack's style of play and what he did for the game in his generation. And there's people who loved what Tiger done in his generation. I just think our generation, our age-wise, matches more up with Tiger. We saw it more firsthand.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
I don't know.
I feel like if Tiger comes back after his injury and after the doctors told him that he potentially wasn't going to be able to walk again, he might have lost a leg, amputation was on the board. Like, I think if he comes back and wins, it's just going to be the greatest story in all of sports, basically of all time.
It's a huge story, no doubt. But I mean, look at these guys, these competitors, winners. These winners just win, man. Ever Google and look at the pictures from Hogan's car crash. I got hit by a bus.
Yeah, literally.
Honestly, those old cars, I don't know how they got him out of it. His legs were crushed. Yeah. He came back and won. Some of these guys, it's just how they do it. They've got something in them, some fire that the rest of us just don't have. I don't know.
Fire. By the way, Zach, go back to your video. I one of these days I want to get. Can we put the sim on in the background and see like Pebble Beach flowing behind you? I don't like looking at that gray. There it is. I don't like looking at that gray screen.
He looks like a hostage.
He does, right? He's got a green screen on the left and just a dead simulator screen.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, hey, it'll be interesting to see. I think, honestly, I'll say this. If he does play, if we get an announcement in the coming days that Tiger's in the field, the internet is going to, it's going to be a wild party. The ratings are going to be the best ever anywhere on anything.
You got to think, no matter what, the Masters gets ratings, but you got to think that the crew in charge of that has their toes solidly crossed the Tigers in it, because it bumps it up another level.
It definitely does. I think, by the way, guys, next week we're going to be doing an incredibly Masters-themed, packed podcast episode. Green Jackets are coming out. I think in honor of, is it next week?
Yeah.
It is next week.
Next week.
You're looking at me like the schedule's way off.
No, I'm thinking of something else.
Okay, he has something else to get.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking about.
I think we go, we get some Sapporo and sushi. We got to celebrate the past champs dining.
Did we see his dinner yet? Did we see his
I didn't see it.
I don't think they released it yet.
But I would love to get some Japanese food in here. It'd be nice.
Yeah. Big sushi guy.
Yeah, we'll get some sushi. I don't know if I go pimento cheese for the episode.
Come on, I love a good pimento cheese.
You can have both in one day?
Okay. Yeah. Are you kidding?
All right.
Of course I can. But what I'm thinking about, you talk about the ratings.
Yep.
Did you see the stat that came out that the PNC where Tiger played it with his son, which is kind of a little bit more of
the hit and giggle.
Yeah, it wouldn't call it a super serious event, but it had a higher viewership than the Open Championship did. They said in total
correct.
Now, I understand the argument that everyone made was also the time difference for the Open, because of being overseas. Here in the States, a lot of you don't get as high viewership naturally because it's on early in the morning, not prime time. But it just shows you how much Tiger changes things when it comes to ratings. So I think it'll be through the roof if he plays.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be even bigger than the Oscars. And Frank's going to tell you in a minute why he thinks the whole entire Will Smith thing was fake.
And you know what? I'm starting to see some other people who are saying the same. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only crazy one who said that Will Smith slap is fake. It sounds
more and more fake the more you talk about it.
I think it's fake. But first, quickly, we want to talk about
other stuff that's trending. Yeah.
Jay Monahan.
So Monahan, the PGA Tour commish. What happened?
So he first time spoke about it, said it was unacceptable what was happening on that 16th at the Waste Management where all the beer cans got thrown.
First off, it is the Waste Management Open.
Yeah.
The main sponsor is...
Well, look, I think that the PGA Tour and in general, a lot of it, they have to pick a path here to a certain extent, because there's no denying that event benefits off of the vibe that it's created of being the biggest party on grass, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, yes, you can party without being irresponsible and throwing things out there. Again, I said I don't think it's the most harmful thing. In a world of a lot of bad things could happen out there, I don't think it's the most harmful thing. They cleaned it up in 5 minutes. And honestly, you have to really plead your case for me to believe that those plastic and aluminum bottles are making, because we're not serving glass bottles anymore, I don't think, are going to make any type of impact on the course. People talked about making dents.
I mean, a full one, but who's throwing a full one?
All right. I don't know. And by the time it hits the green, I doubt it's full. It's all coming flying out. I don't know. I understand, but on the same token, I feel like it was a moment of passion that gripped people. Hole-in-ones don't happen there that often. I think we had a 3 or 4 year drought between them. People aren't throwing beer cans the second somebody hits it close. It's when it's a hole-in-one.
Right. And what was the other thing?
Feel free to argue with me. I don't know.
What was the other thing about Harry Higgs?
Yeah, so Harry Higgs and Joel Damon, Monahan was like, that's not exactly the best look for the PGA Tour. Just like,
I think he just has to say that.
Guy's so soft.
I had said, did you think those guys got hit with secret fines?
I think they had to have. If Monahan's saying that it needs to be addressed for the future so that stuff like this doesn't happen again. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? Yeah. Those were literally the most viral moments from the tournament. Without that tournament, I wouldn't have even known that the Wampo was happening.
Right. And I think time and place, read the room. I think it's like if you've done a lot of marketing and everything else that created a vibe that this is a party and this is the event that everybody gets to cut loose. You know, I still hate it when they killed it where the caddies weren't allowed to run anymore.
Yeah.
Remember they used to have the caddy races? They didn't want anybody to get hurt.
You got hurt during the caddy race.
I did get hurt in the caddy race.
Remember that? You really hurt yourself.
Yes, I did.
We caddy raced.
Yes. And I
put myself in full speed spasm with a bag of golf clubs on our back.
Yeah.
And you had back spasms.
But again, I'm not an elite athlete.
Some of these caddies aren't in that shape either.
No, whatever. Look, I still think that like you've created and very much benefited off of making the vibe there a party. I think if a guy wants to like have a little bit of fun on that one hole, they're not doing it on the first tee.
Right.
It's where the stadium's happening. They got the crowd and they're riled up.
I'm all for it.
And you're having a little bit of fun.
I'm all for it.
But I don't think there's anything in it that was in any way demeaning to golf or anything like that. Whatever. I don't know. I think I just said he's got to say certain things, and that's why he says it.
But I guarantee you that this event probably gave more new fans and more new followers than any other event besides probably Tiger coming back at the Masters. Like if Tiger comes back, that would probably be the only thing that would be like bigger.
Yeah, I think it was wildly relatable, and like I said, when you turn on that event, you know what you're in for. Like it's you don't expect. Like I said, if the Waste Management is the party you go to Saturday night, and then the Masters is church you attend on Sunday morning.
That's the way to put it.
They might be the same people. I see you Saturday night, I see you Sunday morning, but it's just a different vibe, and it's a different. You just read the room and let each thing should have its own place.
Right.
Right.
If the PGA Tour stops this from happening, do you think at the first Super League event they're just handing out beers for people specifically
it'll say on the bottle,
to throw?
throw it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do think that if the PGA Tour really tamps down on people having that kind of fun and stuff like that, you will see some competitor arise, even if it's not this, Saudi league. If it's something else, some other event, like we see, like even the match where guys are mic'd up, something that gives a little bit more of that's closer to the type of golf you see on Sunday with the boys. You know what I mean? Just because it's got a clear audience. It's there. The audience is there. So I don't know. But anyway, the other big story, kind of a rules thing we saw was this shot clock violation. Now this one was, it wasn't on the PGA Tour.
No, this was European Tour, right?
Right. And it was, but what would happen was basically you had a situation where Matthew Jordan, he's playing the Qatar Masters, lost ball. You got 3 minutes to find it. Doesn't find it in the 3 minutes. They found it in like the 4th minute.
They kept looking though.
I think a fan or somebody, I don't know. I wasn't watching it, so I couldn't tell you exactly, but someone found it like immediately after the time clock was up. And he never kind of recovered from the penalty. Because a lost ball, you've got to go back and hit it from, wherever you hit the ball. It's a tough one because I see which way we seem to try to speed this game up. And the one thing now is changing this shot clock, so to speak, from 5 minutes down to 3. You got 3 minutes to find a ball. Usually it's not an issue in the professional events because there are enough spectators that they find it. This one was particularly errant, but I just don't know. It's a tough one.
That's
a tough pill to swallow.
3 minutes, it's gone. It's gone.
When are they going to start GPS tracking these balls?
Yeah, they should. I mean, a shot link. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But here's my take though. Like, what's funny? We think about this when we're out there. We'll lose a ball. We'll drop, take penalty, and then we'll find it. Be like, I found it. I'm just gonna hit this one.
I'm gonna do this
and
one.
We're like,
there's a very relaxed loosening of the rules. Yes, especially there where we really do want to speed up play. You got a lot of guys out there, you're playing your Saturday morning round and you got pressure to get back home and get everything. So you try to get your round done really quick. And we're all under this kind of like same silent agreement that it's just like move.
Right.
Now, but that being said, again, I think that's just for your fun, casual round. If you're entering your handicap, I don't believe in doing that. I only enter my handicap on rounds where I feel like we've played it the way we should play it, the rules, not this kind of like just fun, as Tiger says, hit and giggle rounds. But the 3 minute rule, it's a tough one, but I think we're going to see more of this type of thing. I just think it's going to be a really really tough PR thing when it happens on a big event on a Sunday, and we're trying to explain your shot clock is up 3 minutes. You can't find it.
Yeah.
I do believe that 3 minutes is a reasonable amount of time in a professional event where you got a lot of guys. I think 3 minutes is not a lot when it's you and I playing. Sometimes in certain conditions, especially deep rough, or when we play in the spring or the fall, and you got a lot of. I think you could be walking around a spot. There's nothing else there. It's not like you hit it in a lake, and it's just like it's here somewhere. You're moving the grass to try to find it. Sometimes that's a struggle.
Yeah,
but it does kill a lot of time out there.
It does, man. It does.
Somebody will solve that problem. It's not us.
Not us.
But anyway, so yeah, you mentioned before Will Smith, Chris Rock. If we get anything out of this at the Oscars, it's all the memes. The memes have been flying. 3-putting and me. Look at some of these. I mean, they're great. Shooting my personal best in front, slicing OB on 10. That one hits home too hard.
Yep.
Splits the fair with the professional. Hey, I found your first ball. It's over here behind the tray. It just keeps coming. It just keeps coming.
Look at him.
But I tell you, my take on this, I think it was staged. And I've started to hear in the last couple of hours, other people coming out saying the same thing. I think that what you had was an Oscars that was in dramatic decline with viewership. I think none of us would be talking about the Oscars today if it wasn't for this. I think they're both actors. And I think in my kind of summary pitch here is I think it ended up being a publicity stunt that was good for both of them.
Yep.
Because Chris Rock is going to be going out on a tour. And I think this makes him edgy. You know what I mean? He said something enough to get slapped.
He's going to get more people to come see it, so to hear what he has to say about the story.
Exactly. And I think Will Smith, the way he can do it is he can say it was a defensible act. It's not like he's just beating up on a guy, but it's because he said something inappropriate about his wife. So I think there was a meeting. I think it was a sit down, be like, hey, you're both going to come out of this looking good, and everyone's going to be talking about the Oscars. You're going to walk up and slap him. We're going to cut it for U.S. television right before you drop the F-bomb, and we're going to let it play out in the places where we're allowed to say it. That's my take.
The only thing that I could throw into that fire is the fact that he assaulted somebody on television. Where's
the repercussions?
The repercussions is that if nobody says anything that it was staged, we're going to assume it wasn't, and we're all going to assume that he physically.
Okay, but then you're just driving my case home, because if we all are assuming that he assaulted someone on television, then where are the repercussions? Why do we not hear?
Well, Chris Rock is never going to press charges because he's a comedian, and if a heckler comes up on stage because of something you said and hits you,
it doesn't show.
You just lose like your comedian card.
He made the joke. He understood.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was true assault, you would think that there would be some sort of repercussions.
And to help your case, they didn't throw him out. They gave him the award.
Right. And he comes off looking in some people's eyes a little bit like a hero for defending his wife.
The tears are because he's an actor.
Yeah. These are actors. I don't know.
Man.
I've even watched the slap back, and to me, it looks like
he barely touched
like
him.
Like WWE.
Yeah, one of those.
Like a really good,
sound
like that. But he just, I don't know.
Because he didn't punch him.
He goes up there and slaps him.
Dude played Ali and didn't even punch him.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I think that's why I think it was so staged, and I think he his whole
But is Chris Rock going to keep the narrative forever that Will Smith did this to me?
Why
how do you play it out forever?
Why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't he? They're going to both take this to the bank.
Yeah,
because he's gonna be again the edgy comedian he can make endless material off of this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got an idea for our next video, Frank.
Well, I just don't know why.
He's gonna walk up and slap me on the first hole.
Like, Chris Rock should have immediately after getting slapped just come back with some fire on Will Smith and his.
No, but I think that's what makes it look so real. They have his stunnedness.
Yeah.
I
don't know. You guys tell us. I mean, we've now we're way
got
off the track for golf, but I don't know. I think it was fake. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. What else we got?
What wasn't fake?
Yeah,
was the most relatable thing we're going to talk about on the podcast today was this guy who baked himself a 96 cake. So if you guys are watching this, we'll put the graphic up.
Love the bunker.
By the way, terrific job at the cake.
Terrific job. Never seen a green as like a half moon crescent.
Yeah. They said this is the vibe we all need. The guy who breaks 100 for the first time bakes himself a 96 cake.
I love it.
I absolutely love it. And I've said it before on the podcast. You want to become better at golf, celebrate your wins. Like we all you know, are so like, you feel like you haven't accomplished anything in golf until you've like broken 80 or whatever. Forget it, man. You broke 90, you broke 100, whatever you did, you broke 120 for the first time.
Whatever it is.
Get out
Celebrate
there and
it with
pat
a
yourself
cake.
on the back. It's a tough game.
Remember when I baked a cake when we broke 10,000 Instagram followers?
I do.
I brought it to your house?
Yeah.
I tried to dig up the photo of it because I know we posted it. I couldn't find it. But hey, celebrate it.
Funny thing about Mike, guy makes a mean banana bread.
Yeah, it's good.
We need 100K banana bread when we hit it.
What did you guys do?
I'll make it.
Do it.
When like first time you broke 100, what like did you do anything, or were you just psyched?
I think it was just psyched.
Psyched.
And then even remember where I broke 90 at Essex Fields in Bloomfield. I took a photo on the final green. I remember where I broke 80. I was with my dad and two, so
yeah, they're huge milestones.
They're huge.
They just are, and I think this guy handled it hilariously.
Great.
So that was a good one. And let's just before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about the state of our own games, kind of give an update because now we're. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, have you guys seen the Donald Trump hole-in-one?
I saw it yesterday.
I see the aftermath going on, but does anyone actually have the shot?
No one has
I
the
don't think
shot.
anybody has a shot.
They just have him walking up to it.
He
but
hit
Ernie Els
180 5-iron, or hit a 5-iron 180, and I don't know. Twitter was just going off. It was hilarious. I was just like, the Twitter reactions were so
Nobody's
funny.
buying it.
Nobody's buying it.
Ernie Els in the photo holding up a 1.
Yeah.
But one guy wasn't holding a
How
ball.
much was Ernie paid to stand?
I don't know.
No, I don't think Ernie would have faked it.
I don't think he would have faked it. He would have said, nah.
In general, I don't think that there's enough motivation to fake that one.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like,
Right.
what's the motive?
What's the motivation?
Does Trump need more publicity?
No.
The
Right.
guy can do whatever he wants and everyone's going to talk about it.
Anytime he steps on a golf course, any photo that's taken just goes viral. So,
I mean, if I want to put my truly cynical hat on, the only motivation I could think is that there's a lot of people who knock Trump and saying he's not as good a golfer as he says he is.
correct.
So you could maybe say, make a play, hey, let's stage this to show that he's a little bit better, but that's a stretch. That's a long stretch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could have been real.
Either way, there's plenty of guys in that foursome who could afford to buy the
Plenty.
drinks.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
for sure. They could all afford to buy those drinks.
Right.
Got Ernie Els in there too. Forget it. Yeah, that's wild. That's making it circulate. I hope somebody's got from the tee box. It'd be cool just to see the video if someone's got it other than just
Secret
the result.
Service or something.
Yeah, somebody's. Yes, yeah. Secret Service had it. Anyway, let's talk real quick about the state of our own game because we're finally making it back on the course. We played a little bit in Innisbrook, obviously, a couple weeks ago. Hope you guys are enjoying those videos. We're having a lot of fun putting them together. If you're watching them, you know how much it beat us up. Always get beat up those first couple of rounds when you're starting to get back to the game. But you and I have done more, I would say, in our off season working on our games than we've ever done before. We did our lessons with Ryan Hager. You're doing your regular overspeed training.
Yeah.
I've been working on this sequencing thing that we've been working on. How you feel about your game? Like we're gonna head out there. I think next week will be our first time starting to really start to play again.
I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you right. It's like a segment thing. Like if you ask me by segments, how do you feel about your off the tee game? I'm going to say I feel phenomenal with driver in hand. How do I feel on greens right now? Lost. So
Yeah.
We'll see. But we're going to be doing a fun challenge that a lot of our YouTube subs have been requesting, and it's something we haven't done ever.
Never done it.
It's a forward tees challenge.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna hope we don't embarrass ourselves, but we're gonna do forward tees at Ballyowen, which I love playing this course. It's a scoreable course from the back tees because there are places you could bail out. There's no trees on the middle of the course. When the fescue's down, you could still hit an errant shot and score.
And I feel like in that way, it's very links feel in that it can be scoreable, but it can also be deadly depending on the conditions of the day.
Yeah, if it's windy up there, which usually it becomes like a fishbowl with wind up there on the mountain.
Yeah, you play Ballyowen in the summer with the fescue grown to its full effect in a windy day, and you could lose a dozen golf balls.
Yeah.
That's how difficult it could be.
You can. So what I did the other night, Frank, I went on Xbox. I played 2K1, and don't put it up yet, Zach. I'm going to keep me in suspense a little bit, but I played the Forward Tees Challenge at Ballyowen. They have Ballyowen, by the way, and it's perfect. The graphics, it's every hole to a tee.
Whoever designed the dedicated guys who go and put these
it's amazing.
Together.
Well, throw that scorecard up there, Zach, because I went low. I shot a 47. Look at those two pars.
You shot a 47 for 18 holes.
Here's the funny part. Go back to that scorecard. You're going to laugh. Even in a video game from the forward tees, that dreaded long 14th hole still got me. The one that dog legs left blind. You can't see the green on the left.
If that's not proof that a hole gets in your head.
Yes. We never played that well.
Even on a thing. But give me that scorecard one more time.
But how many eagles? 1, 2, 3,
So he
4,
starts
5.
off with with
eagle out of the gate.
Just a banger, two
and
eagles.
I drove that second hole. By the way, I drove with like an 8-iron.
You had 3 eagles in the first 5 holes.
Yep. But I'm so mad I had 2 pars on the back 9. But that 10th hole, which we love that.
Maybe this game
I'm
a
so
little
mad
too
I
easy.
had 2 pars on the back 9. Dude shoots a 47.
Yeah, is this
been
game
better.
maybe a little too easy? Is there a way we can make this harder? I don't know. Has it lost its fun?
It just shows you how good I am. A lot of those eagles came from chip-ins off the green. But I'll tell you something, man. The 10th hole, which we love that in real life, because that's one that we get home in 2 sometimes.
That's a hugely reachable par.
I went driver. I was off the green with like a 30-yard chip shot. So maybe this will be true. Maybe we'll have this much fun. Now, we're not going to go this low.
How are you driving the ball 450 yards in that game?
No, I'm not.
The power meter? How's this thing
My
work?
max drive, my guy's like 330.
But that hole plays like...
You cut that corner.
You do have to really cut the corner. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You played it from the front tees.
Yeah, come on.
Well, let's see what you do in real life when we play it.
Let's see.
Play those front tees.
Let's see how many greens.
But I'll tell you what, I've been working really hard on making some changes to my swing. And one thing that was encouraging for me is I heard someone say that when you're making a swing change, if it doesn't feel bad and awkward at first, then you're doing something wrong. And that made me feel a little bit better, because I think that's a reason why a lot of us revert back to our old ways.
Yeah.
And they're saying like it should feel awkward if it's, you know what I mean? You should have a very good reason for making that change, which is why I believe working with a coach rather than just doing whatever you find online. But I think that once you know that it's the right change, just work through the fact that it's going to feel a little bit weird and awkward.
Yeah, for sure.
And one thing, and I'll get more into this because I want to do a little bit more research on it, and I want to make sure that I've got all the information right, because I don't take credit for this whatsoever. I learned this. I was in one of my long deep dive scrolls through YouTube. I just watch constant golf tips on YouTube.
Right.
I just do. I love absorbing them. They're just, whatever. But I had heard this one tip, and the one thing that I do when I really mess up, and you saw it, if you're watching the Innisbrook series, you saw it a few times where I had some terrible shots. And it's often because of the fact that I'm not confident in the club, or it's a long distance, or it's from the rough, and I feel like I need to subconsciously put a little extra into it. Mm-hmm. And that's when I get out of sequence and I rush with the hands, and I start the swing with the hands, bringing the hands, down quick, and I slap at the ball. Well, I heard this one guy say, well, what's the swing fault there is that too quickly the hands are coming down and towards the ball. Mm-hmm. So he said, whenever you're making a fault like that, think about what the opposite is and do that. Now, again, remember, this is a feel thing. They always talk about feel versus real. It's not necessarily what's happening, but what it feels like. So when I start my downswing, instead I try to feel like my hands are going up and away from the ball. And that just gives me that millisecond more time for my lower body to start instead of starting with the upper body. So I get to the top of that backswing, and my only swing thought is up and away with the hands. So my hips start to turn and rotate, and I feel like the hands are going up and away. In reality, they're probably staying where they are for like a millisecond longer. And what I find is that it allows my hands to drop in better, and I'm a little bit more shallow with the club, and I'm coming through, and my timing is better. But it's such a change that it's not happening every time. And even if it is happening, it's not yet happening under pressure and real.
Yeah, right.
Because right now, all my practice is grinding it out at home. I've been trying, and I learned this from Kevin Sprecher. He said, whenever you're making a change with your swing, he said, you're much better off doing 5 minutes every day than 30 minutes or 60 minutes once a week.
Sure.
Your body just learns better. So what I just do is 5 to 10 minutes every day. I have the foam balls and a net in my basement, and I just try to feel that swing, and I just do it. I can get usually 25 to 30 swings in every day until it starts to feel like second nature. It's going to take time. Even working with Hager, we were doing that in February. He said, if you do this every day, you probably won't feel comfortable with it in May, but maybe by June.
Oh, wow.
So
wow, okay.
These changes take time. Stick with them. That's what we're working on. Hopefully it shows some results this year, and we start to play a little better.
Hopefully, man, because it's right around the corner.
But we're kicking it off with the forward tees challenge.
I like that, though. I like coming out of the gate.
Now, we're playing what? A 2-man scramble? Is that our format for the forward tees?
No, we're going heads up.
We're going a heads up match from the forward tees.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to see who can go the lowest.
Okay. So then I would say I was going to say to
I think it'd be ridiculous. We'll put up those numbers if we go scramble.
The 47?
Yeah, that's what we said about.
That's what we said, right.
TPC Tampa Bay was a whole
We're nothing
animal.
if not optimistic. But what I was going to say was drop your predictions for our scores in the comments. originally thinking it was a scramble, but if it's not,
we could change it on the fly. We go scramble. We'll think about it.
We'll think about it. But you guys can weigh in too. Would you rather see us play a scramble from the forward tees with a 1-score 2-man scramble, or would you rather see us play a stroke play or a match play match?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys want to do.
People are going to want to see the score, so it's got to be either a stroke play or it's got to be a scramble.
Yeah, I'm thinking what we did when we did we played Patriot Hills from the tips, and we just did a straight up match.
Yes, but with a match, you don't always have a full 18-hole score. Obviously, it might not go 18 holes, right. And if you win a hole, the other guy can pick up.
Right.
So I think we got to put stroke in there somehow.
Okay.
Maybe we'll even put it to a poll.
All right.
And see what people think.
Let's do that.
All right, that is everything we have for you guys. One thing I will say is just make sure you keep an eye on our main channel as well as social, because we've got a lot of big giveaways right now.
Giveaway season.
Avx giveaway is live. You've got about a week or so left to enter that. And also, we've got big giveaways planned with Precision Pro, who we mentioned earlier, Rapsodo. We've got some more carts that we're going to give away,
some of those
carts.
Expensive motorized golf carts.
Yeah, this is another year of giveaway. And then Mike's got this idea of the war chest.
Yeah, I want to run this idea. Let me know what you guys think, where we just show up and post up on like a par 3 with just a chest of all of the giveaway, of all the items we collect here in HQ, and just challenge people to hit it close.
Yeah.
For them to reach in. And maybe we even put some stuff in it that's not that great. You know,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bucket of slime.
An empty cup of coffee.
But that's just a couple of ideas we got coming up. But guys, stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to our main channel at Golficity, go check it out. And this one too, the new podcast channel, the Golf Podcast, go check it out there.
Yeah, and you're not going to want to miss, because next week we'll be back with the Green Jackets, big Masters special.
And we're going to put the little like azalea logo behind us.
We're going to do it up.
We're going to do it up.
Okay, good. We're going to be psyched. So you can get to all the show notes from this week. Go to golficity.com/episode 421, and we'll see you next week at the Masters.
That's right.